Hello, Bo here from the Crypto Radio with William Dart, the Chief Partnership Officer of AlphaTON Capital. And we're in Dubai today at AIBC Eurasia by Sigma. And it's a great event. It's really packed out there.
Yeah, it's rammed. I don't want to say I'm surprised, but I am. It's incredible.
So we just did a panel today, right, all about the next generation of the digital asset ecosystem. Where are we sitting at now? Where are we going?
I think it does boil back to, and I keep harking on about this earlier, it is the user experience. And by user experience, I'm not just talking about, how the app looks and different functionality. It's the whole picture. If we don't have a good user experience, if the app or if things are failing or if things are slow or expensive, so the whole big picture of user experience, then we don't get trust. And if we don't get trust, we don't get users and we don't get the adoption and the scale that's needed. When you look at something like Telegram, and Telegram has 1 billion monthly active users and it's seen as by many as just a messaging app, but it's a lot more than that. Do you know what else Telegram does, for example?
I know you have mini apps.
You do have mini apps. Yeah.
I don't know how to access them on my app though. Maybe you can show me afterwards.
Okay, well, actually, that's a good point about you. That is actually a micro user experience. So you hit the search, and then you actually see apps up there, and you can go in and see them. But yes, there's apps, and Telegram has it also has a wallet, a crypto wallet built into it.
Oh.
So everyone who has a Telegram app has a wallet. I think that where we are right now is we are looking to leverage those. And bring those 1 billion users and bring people to those 1 billion users so that they can start having better payments. And right now, for example, the big thing that we're involved in is with Cocoon, which is the AI of Telegram. It's like the XAI of X, but it's called Cocoon.
Confidential Compute Open Network, or abbreviated as Cocoon. Okay. All right, good.
Again, user experience here is that they can, or you people can use this and know that their data's being, not shared and not being used, and they can use like it's theirs. So yeah, this is kind of where we are right now.
Is Cocoon, you use it inside the chat?
So Cocoon is privacy-centric chat and AI that is a part of Telegram. And what we're doing is we're providing the infrastructure, and that is the GPUs, the chips that process that's behind that AI.
Yeah.
And that's where we are right now as AlphaTON Capital.
Okay, so obviously on the panel we were talking about the kind of different layers of digital asset ecosystem. So at the bottom is digital identity, right? So how does Telegram even start to, attempt to address that? Because there's different types, right? There's your financial identity, but there's the personal or platform identity.
Yeah. Well, I think actually it's a multi-layered approach to when it comes to, we did touch on this, when it comes to identity. Identity, digital identity is the foundational layer. Now, if you take Telegram itself, when you sign up to Telegram, the chat, you get an ID, you get a digital identity. Behind Telegram is the TON blockchain. It's an exclusive blockchain that powers, I'd like to say, and there's the infrastructure behind it. So you get digital identity there, and also within Telegram, there is a wallet. Baked into, like I said, built in there. So the early building blocks, or the early adoption side, is there right from day one. It's about how we and TON and Telegram and how we utilize that and create a great user experience. When I say user experience, I don't think people necessarily need to know they're using the wallet. They need to necessarily know they're using blockchain technology.
It needs to be easy.
It sits behind and makes something work well, and it sits in the background. I kind of use the analogy like how many people really know or actually care how their mobile phone works. Does it take a great photo? Yes. Does the battery last? Yes. And can I use the apps on it? And then you get, and has it got a nice shiny apple on the back? Is it the latest latest color? But nobody really wants to talk about the technology that is inside that thing.
Yeah. And so it's got a wallet. So what kind of digital asset payments are available?
Oh, I mean, well, you could do the simple things like send TON or not just TON. I mean, you could other digital assets, other tokens to each other. Stable coins. And you simply can just, if you and I had our Telegram open now, I could just send you that really quickly.
Okay, well, just on chat.
Yeah. And yeah, it's all everything is interfaced through the chat or through an app or both. It's a really low level barrier to using that system.
Yeah. And how did these, we were talking about, again, about scaling, right? It can be really difficult to scale these things. What are the kind of barriers that companies, platforms hit when they try to scale these systems?
I think the number one thing so far has been complicated technology or people that build not thinking about the actual experience of and actually trying to do something new when, as humans, we're creatures of habit and we used to do things a certain way. We generally speaking don't like change, or it takes a long time for us to change. So up until now, I think that's been the whole thing. You've got these things like keys and passwords and keeping things safe. And then if you haven't, and then like, am I sending something to the right place or not? And all these things that are kind of a bit scary to bring in mass users, because otherwise they're being like, well, if there's a risk, I'm not going to use it because I don't want to take the risk. So trust.
Are we still at crypto niche or more mainstream with Telegram and TON?
I think we're breaking through. I think when it comes to business-to-business applications, it's becoming mainstream. A lot of businesses or organizations or NGOs or big corporate are using, for example, stable coins for remittance, faster, cheaper, quicker. When it comes to the consumer, I think probably the biggest adoption of the technology is coming through gaming.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Why is it so good for gaming? Why does that make the most sense? What do you need in gaming that's different?
Yeah, I mean, they're digitally native, aren't they? Gaming is in the very nature of what they're doing, or how they're playing the game. They're used to having, skins and having in-game items, which effectively are easy to become and have already become a digital asset itself.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone the other day and they were saying that you can drop a knife like in a fighting game. And if you drop it, you can claim it, and then you can actually take that knife and sell it for.
Yeah, and then you actually own it.
And you can actually just turn around to a provider and say, well, I want to get $100 worth of something, like even like a stable coin, instantly from that thing. So that's why. I mean, I think that's why it's the first touch base.
Yeah, and there's a lot of lessons to be learned from gaming in the rest of the ecosystem.
Yeah.
And what about regulation then? How did regulation affect Telegram? How Telegram is kind of set up quite different to other platforms?
Telegram doesn't reveal or share any of its users' information, unlike, for example, Meta's products like Facebook and WhatsApp. What they will do, and the founder Pavel Durov still has full control of this, and that's the reason why, is if something illegal is happening and someone comes to him with like a warrant, like you would do normally, if an authority or police or someone came along and said to a shopkeeper, I've got a warrant, then he'll comply with that. But what he's not doing is just opening up the data to anyone who asks for it or governments. I think that is interesting because there's probably a lot of regulation around that and wondering if that's the right thing to do. I mean, we think it is. I think when it comes to regulation in general, there can be a lot of over-regulation, and there's a lot of questions about why is that and who's doing it. Is it too much oversight? Is it like a surveillance state? But at the same time, I really think that if we have that user experience right, if people start to use it, people actually trust it, you can regulate within those scopes. And maybe you regulate when it comes to things like KYC, know your customer, know who he is you're dealing with, and then you actually have that at the edges. And you don't regulate necessarily the technology, and you don't necessarily regulate Telegram.
Yeah.
But you have the regulation around pretty much where it is now. When you open up a bank account, you show your ID, and there's regulation in there. I think that you also need slightly more regulation as we see more institutions wanting to use things like Telegram or other technology, because when you bring in more mainstream businesses and institutions like banks and governments, there is regulation, has to be there. They're not going to use like totally unregulated products or services.
Yeah, of course. Regulations around the globe are just completely different, like from country to country. How do you get around that, or you can't?
Certain jurisdictions are talking to each other. Here in the Middle East and in the UAE, they did bring in European experts and said, what are you doing? How are you doing it? And I think if you can standardize, or at least have a certain amount of standardization, this can be part of the solution.
How likely is that?
Well, we were just on this panel listening to Ali Reza from Deloitte, who's at the edge of this. And
Yeah.
I was quite surprised, because what question did you ask us at the end?
Whether as a whole we are moving towards international alignment or long-term fragmentation.
Yeah, and you said, put your hands up if you think we're moving towards that. And only one person did, and that was Ali Reza.
Yeah.
And he's the guy that would know. So I think he's probably the best person for us to reflect on.
Yeah, nobody else put your hands up. Everybody else thinks long-term fragmentation.
We think long-term fragmentation. I was quite pleasantly surprised to see him put his hand up, and because he's at the edge. I mean, he's working internationally on regulation and advising companies and organizations within the industry. So I'll take lead from him and say probably not as fragmented as we think it is, and more positively, more interoperable solutions are going to come quicker than we think.
He just wrote a report that's out tomorrow, right? On the 2026 global state of, it's about digital assets used in consumer platforms and how they're kind of treated differently in all jurisdictions around the world. But he's still optimistic about it. So that's...
Yeah, no, I think it's positive. And that kind of thinking and using the 1 billion monthly active users that Telegram has, that's growing, and platforms like that is a positive sign. And again, the technology will be used, not necessarily known by the people, the end users.
Yeah.
When we go on our bank apps right now, there are some banks that are using blockchain technology and for remittances.
I've been quiet about it.
Yeah. But then why would, okay, I'm talking from a consumer point of view, but if I'm sending something, like on a Revolut or on a, and later on Telegram, so we're working towards that and some fintech solutions with that, which will be using that platform. But why would a consumer be interested to know? There's you can send it, it's happening fast, it's happening quickly. I'm not getting any fees, or it's freeless, or I'm paying a subscription which is covering that fee. But that's kind of it. It's I'm sending it to you, it's coming, and it's 7 days a week, 24/7, holidays included, everything. And people don't really want to know how it happens and why it happens. They just want to trust it's going to happen.
Yeah, I had a question that I didn't ask, where TradFi is still outperforming, but it's almost pointless. Like you said, TradFi is coming this way, and DeFi is coming this way, and I think everything's going to almost look the same in the middle.
I think it will. I think that we will, in future, won't be saying digital finance and DeFi, decentralized finance, and blockchain technology. It will just be...
This is how it works.
And it's just another tech stack that does something better than the previous solution.
And we're only talking about it because we're so early.
Exactly. But what I've noticed in the last 5 to 7 years is we are talking about it less. And when you go to certain events and certain arenas where we're talking about it, they're just saying, this is the solution, and not even... That's in a lot of areas, that conversation is just gone. It's just not a thing anymore. It's just a given that the DLT blockchain is being used.
Yeah. Okay, so before we round up then, last question. If we meet here again next year, February 2027, at this event, or one of the many events that I'm sure you'll come to in the UAE, what do you think will have changed the most in the ecosystem as a whole, but also for you with your work?
Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing a lot more use of Telegram beyond just chatting.
Okay. Super app.
It is a super app.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't think a lot of people realize that. Often when I and my colleagues, we go on panels and things, we say who has Telegram, and unsurprisingly, because we're in that techie industry, a lot of hands go up. But then you start digging in, we say, okay, so how many of you, know there's apps? And maybe half, if you're lucky, put their hand up. And then we say, how many of you know you've got a wallet? And then maybe less than half the audience puts their hand up. I hope that, and I know, not hope, I think that when we have those questions in the future, and this time next year, there'll be a lot more hands up to all of those questions. But at the same time, maybe we'll have another question, which is, how many of you are doing this thing in Telegram? I'm not actually asking, you've got a wallet, and not asking, it's got an app. Just saying, how many of you are playing games in Telegram? And all the hands go up.
Like daily.
Yeah.
And you're going to check as well how mainstream this audience is. Is it just a crypto niche anymore, do we think, in a year?
Based on what we're doing, no.
Okay.
it will be, they'll be here because this is what it attracts.
Yeah, but my mum will be using it.
Yeah. And what I really would like to do, and what we would like to do is really get the point across that when you use Telegram, everything you're putting in there and everything you're typing is not being harvested and shared and utilized, and other businesses are not, profiting off.
Yeah, Okay, I can't wait to see you in here.
No, rambling on there. There's a lot to unpack there, but
No, I look forward to seeing where this all goes, and I'm going to have to go get the app out now and check all the other functions.
exactly. And you know, anyone who's interested in us, our little plugins, as you mentioned, AlphaTON Capital, and we're actually NASDAQ listed, and the ticker there is ATON. We're an institutional gateway to the untapped value of Telegram and Ton.
Okay, exciting. Thank you so much for speaking with me.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.